Hello everyone and welcome to the Atlanta Legacy Open Sideboard. I'm Glenn Jones and I'm joined in this deck tech by Korey McDuffie. An Atlanta Standard Open champion, almost ran it back just yesterday, but couldn't quite close it out.
Yeah.
Impressive nonetheless.
Thank you.
You came today with something we haven't really seen in Legacy before. I know the origin of the list. Jerry Thompson posted on Facebook, hey, who wants a really cool Legacy deck? And like 45 people all responded, so he just posted it in the comment. And I saw the first iteration of this deck. I know you guys have made some changes since, but it's got basically everything you could want in a Legacy deck, right, Korey?
It is true. It is true. There's a lot of stuff going on in this deck. It's pretty much like 3 combos jammed into one. And Jerry didn't, he says himself, he didn't invent this deck, but somebody had just sent him this deck. It's like, hey, I think this Legacy deck's sweet. And Jerry's like, this Legacy deck is sweet. And he just kind of tuned it. And I'm going to show you what I'm playing in Legacy. I'm 4-2 right now, so I'm dead. But I feel like most of my losses were just like the deck kind of, I mulliganed and like missed some land drops. Like my opponent curved out really well a couple of those other games. But I feel like this kind of strategy is definitely very viable in Legacy, and I just wanted to show you guys. Pretty much, I feel like the deck mostly just gets a lot of card advantage. It's hard for, like, you can aggressively mulligan because all your cards pretty much work really well with each other. As you can see down here, there's, intuition for tons of these packages and combos,
yeah.
But the main thing is Young Pyromancer, Cabal Therapy is just absurd. Like, if you ever get to curve out with like Pyromancer and then obviously probe them, your Cabal Therapy is just gonna pick their hand apart. Like, you get a token every time you cast a Cabal Therapy, whether you flash it back, and the token will place itself when you flash it back. If you have 2 Young Pyromancers, it just...
Sure.
Yeah, the deck's really grindy, so 1/1s add up, and the cards you rip out of their hand add up, so it's definitely a lot of stuff going on.
The core 3 creatures you have are definitely among the best in Legacy right now,
Yeah.
We've got Young Pyromancer, who's really been showing his stuff lately. Deathrite Shaman, I don't think we need to introduce the best 1-drop ever printed at this point. And Dark Confidant, who is also a heralded 2-drop as far as 2-drops go. And obviously Confidant and Pyromancer play pretty well together, with Confidant fueling the Pyromancer. They both require a removal spell pretty much on the spot, so your opponent's really stressed. Same with Deathrite Shaman. We saw Pyromancer and Dark Confidant together just a couple weeks ago in the Cincinnati Legacy Open, where it won the whole tournament. So it's not that surprising to see these particular combinations. But this deck goes way deeper than that. It's also running a few Mox Diamonds, and it's got 3 Intuitions because it can go for a Life from the Loam package. And you've got lots of different ones. Among the lands that Korey's running today, we have, I know Cephalid Coliseum is one you added. You said it's been excellent.
Yeah, this card, where'd it go? Dude, Cephalid Coliseum, when I was saying this deck gets like a lot of card advantage, it's mostly...
No joke.
Yeah, like pretty much you just grind them out. Like if you get like some kind of package with, pretty much these are the obvious ones. Like if you get...
Grove, Punishing Fire.
Like I got this against Merfolk earlier. I like turn 2 Mox Diamond, Intuition, got this package, and it really helped out. This is another obvious package. If you guys aren't aware, this is a good combo. Those 2 cards go well together. It does do the things that you want them to do. Even, if you guys like, pretty much my experience from the deck is like it's really, really grindy, and whenever you can just barely push ahead, it's like the 1/1s from Pyromancer is like how I've been killing my opponent mostly. Like I pretty much just pick their hand apart. We're top decking, and my Life from the Loam and Wasteland. There's 1 Wasteland in the deck, and you eventually just like go through your whole deck. Your Coliseum makes your Life from the Loam lands become actual spells and cards. You can discard. I play 3 Punishing Fire. You can just discard them the Coliseum and get them back from with Grove. Yeah, it's just like so much card advantage this deck can get, and that's one thing I love about any Legacy deck is a deck that mulligans really well. Like the decks in Legacy, the reason why they're the best decks is because of how consistent they are. And this deck, while it's got some goofy, clunky cards, they all complement each other very well. There's 4 Brainstorm. There's like 3 Force of Will too, so like you can like Cabal Therapy their cards that are important then, and then they like play their last cards important, and if you force it, it's just a grindy game from there. And I think this deck definitely pulls ahead when it's like really grindy.
Seems like a deck that grinds very well. It's interesting to me that it's a Jace deck that doesn't run the full amount because it has so many other ways to accrue card advantage, so many ways to go long against the opponent that are actually superior even to Jace activations, which is saying something in Legacy because it's hard to activate a Jace 3 times and lose.
Jerry even told me last night that he thinks I should cut all the Jaces.
I wouldn't find that unbelievable.
Yeah.
How do you think a deck like this compares to the opposition-styled Young Pyromancer deck that we've seen Drew Levin kind of championing recently?
Well, I do think that Young Pyromancer is pretty much the card that you want to try to abuse and get card advantage out of. This deck uses Cabal Therapy. Drew's deck, there's tons of things that you can do with Young Pyromancer. Like, I think the most intuition package I've gotten today is when I've had a Young Pyromancer in play, protected it with a Force, intuition for all Cabal therapies, and just, and I had a probe in my hand, just like...
Always very fun. This is a great intuition deck. I'm actually most excited about that aspect of it. Drew's deck incorporated something similar with Quiet Speculation, but you're obviously going a completely different route. You're not abusing Lingering Souls, you're abusing Punishing Fire Life from the Loam.
Yeah.
Punishing Fire's redundancy with Young Pyromancer also seems pretty incredible. The recursion is generating a token every time.
Yeah.
That's basically a blast from the past, if anyone's familiar with the Cube/Type 4 All-Star. So I'm pretty excited by this deck. I think that it's obviously a first draft of what this strategy might become, but
yeah, definitely. There's
some exciting stuff.
All of us were working on it this morning. It's been kind of fun, honestly. It's a lot of, this deck isn't much different from most of the other Legacy decks. Like, you're still playing the staple creatures just together, these cards, it's how Shardless Bug wins, these single-handedly, and you just get your extra value out of your discard spells.
You just need a 2-drop to go unanswered. That's like the Legacy formula.
Yeah, definitely. And when you have Force and Cabal Therapy and Probe, you can appropriately play your guys, and I don't know. This deck's definitely got something going for it. I wasn't even gonna come today, and then I saw this deck, and I showed up.
Fell in love.
Yeah. There's just so many things that you can do with it, and I haven't really found out what its bad matchups are, or its good matchups. It's just been kind of, I don't know.
It's early in its life cycle.
Yeah. It's just, I don't really know. But I definitely think that a lot of people are, if it was successful today, I think people would jump on it because it's really cool, like all the interactions. But as of right now, I would say it's maybe just a little bit worse than a Shardless Bug deck. Like, it plays like the same cards, but this deck still has a lot of tuning to go before it gets up to that caliber. But yeah.
We'll have to keep track of its progress over the next few months. So thanks, guy who knows Jerry, for sending Jerry the deck list, because it's really cool. If I knew who you were, I would have thanked you more appropriately.
I also would too, whoever you may be.
I know you're still playing out the rounds over in the Legacy Open Korey, so good luck to you in the remainder of it.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in.